Hi there. It's time for another installment of Shakara Farms. It's been a long time since I videoed. It's because there are just so many things that can go wrong when you're homesteading and trying to pattern a project for another country on your own property and you've never done it and you don't have all of the tools that you need to be successful. So a lot of changes around here. A lot of the help that I had by way of my children and some extraneous associates of theirs, well, everybody's life shifted and this is not their priority. So everybody's kind of gone. I'm very fortunate, however. My fiance stepped up to the plate, having no clue as to what a homestead was for, what to do with chickens or goats or ducks or pigs. And he stepped up to the plate and he's been helping with making sure I get all of the tools and equipment that I do need to be successful going forward. So I felt more comfortable starting the videos back up once I started to get more of the things that I need. In the grand scheme of it all, it's not a lot that I need, but it requires a lot of commitment and sacrifice and trying to get out of the sun for you guys. And so I just didn't have that. I think I'm the only person at Shakara Farms, aside from my animal babies, that is committed to the success of this. But that being said, my fiance and I are looking for another property that is a lot more fluid and laid out more effectively for what I'm trying to do. So, update. Let's start. We've talked about the help being gone, and I'm doing it by myself, and that's okay. So now let's talk about the winter. So I moved to the south thinking that, I wouldn't have the cold weather encumbrances that I had in the north. I was wrong because I change the weather patterns everywhere I go. And I was wrong because what happens? As soon as it possibly can, it starts to snow. We've had 2 snowstorms, well, what they call snowstorms in the south, in less than a month. And the weather dropped drastically. I'm just really grateful that my original stock of birds have fared very, very well. They've learned to play well together in times of crises, i.e. cold weather and dangerous weather conditions. Now, sad part of the update is over the past couple months, because again, not having the proper equipment and not knowing what you don't know, living out on 15 acres of uncleared land is beautiful, but it is dangerous. And I'm probably overstating the obvious for some of the people that already know, but it's dangerous for fowl and livestock. So that being said, I had about 25 hens and 5 roosters. And needless to say, I'm down to about 6 hens and 4 roosters. Everything from hawks and foxes to owls the size of my fucking car have decimated my flock. So today has been a day of replenishing and finding in the off season hens to replenish my flock. The good thing is my girls are gone a little bit dormant this time of year, so they're not laying as plentifully as they once had laid, but I changed their feed and put them on, a scratch, more corn feed, and took them off of the layer feed for the time being. That being said, I will put them back on their feed for laying probably first or middle of March. So today has been a day of me going and purchasing replacement hens for my flock. So today I got 2 black giants and another Rhode Island red. I fancy my blacks and my reds because now I'm in the South and I live in Georgia, and ain't nothing but black and red. The falcons, the bulldogs. You see where I'm going with that. So I've also lost a duck. I lost Chopsticks, the mate to my other duck, Pearl. So when I say the past 2 months has been an exercise in what the fuck, I mean it. Do you see the bags under my eyes? I'm exhausted just from staying up at night, looking out the windows with my gun, trying to kill anything that moves that is trying to get to my chickens. I'm grateful that my youngest son has been very, very helpful. He stays up at night with me as well, looking for targets to shoot that are trying to get to my animals. We've not been successful in killing anything, which is great, but we have scared it off. So I have begun the process of capping the tops of my enclosures for my animals. It's not the prettiest thing, but I'm going to tell you, I've seen evolution. When I do it by myself or have done it by myself to where I am now in less than a year. I think I'm doing awesome. Those are the updates for now. Let's see what else updates. So much. Okay, so I told you guys I got a goat. I adopted a goat from a gentleman whose house had burned down, and he had to get rid of about 150 chickens, about 50 or 60 goats, and a plethora of other animals. And so there's one more goat that was left, and it was his pet goat, essentially. She's not a meat goat. She's not a milk goat. She's just a goat. And her name is Goaty, the goat. Greatest of all times, because I never really thought much about getting a goat, but here she is, clearing off some stuff for me. Goaty, are you going to say hi? Well, she's, as you see, busy doing what goats do. So I'm going to let her finish because the weather has changed. There's not a lot of foliage around. She's pretty much been helpful in clearing out a lot of the weeds. I kind of wish I had 2 or 3 more, but I'll just wait till we get the new property for that. So let me show you what I've been doing. Oh, before I show you what I've been doing, update on Shakara and Wahala, my piggy babies. So they have not escaped anymore. They have learned their lesson from escaping. And just before my middle son moved out of state, he helped me reinforce and fortify the old moonshine still that I had been using as their enclosure. He helped me fortify that with pallets and 2x4s, and we drilled and hammered and nailed and jerry-rigged wall plates for them. And so far, they've only been able to knock down one of the interior pallets, but we double-walled it. So it's held them pretty well for about 3-4 months now. So they haven't escaped anymore. However, they have gotten massive. And after the last snow, my worst fears were confirmed when I went out to feed them the other day. There are coyotes trying to get to my pigs. When I tell you 15 acres of uncleared land it's a treat, I really mean it. So I saw 2 distinctive sets of coyote prints, and they were kind of stalking around the outside and the exterior of the shed that they're in. And my girls are pressing on 400 pounds apiece. So, God, I need sleep. They're pressing on about 400 pounds apiece. So that's 800 pounds of animal weight if they are deciding to get riled up. And those pallet walls are not going to hold them. Again, having no success in getting anyone to come and help me fortify or build a new shed, because purchasing one is way out of my league right now. It's so price prohibitive. I wanted to purchase one, but the ones that I would need to ensure their security are so godly expensive. So my only option was to build and or rebuild what I already had, and getting someone reputable and reasonably priced to come and help me do that has been an exercise in no. I don't know when people became so greedy. I live in a neighborhood or an environment where we help our neighbors to the degree that it's convenient for us. Self-sacrifice for someone else's good is going away, and that's really unfortunate because I kind of try to put myself in a position to go out of my way to help someone, even if it's discomforting for me, because I know how important those types of sacrifices can be to people. So not having gotten any community support, not having gotten any support, that's pretty much what it boils down to. I wasn't able to get their enclosure fortified. Now with the coyotes coming around and the rickety nature, that's the only way I can describe it, the rickety nature of an old moonshine still doubling as a pig and